The full trailer has dropped for Victoria Beckham's upcoming documentary series, Victoria Beckham. We can't wait. God, isn't it interesting that for all she's done in her life, that little kid is still sitting in there wanting to be liked?
It's the same with a lot of performers, though, isn't it? Don't you find?
Do you think it's performers or just people?
I think a lot of people end up being performers because of that, and they're trying to, like... Yeah, I definitely see
to try and find kind of approval. But most people want to be liked, don't they? I mean, even people who joke people at the altar.
Doesn't.
I mean...
Jane Moore doesn't care.
To be honest, I'm with Jane. I really don't care. Being liked, for me, is not something that's ever changed the direction of my life. And I think that came from a very specific job I got when I was 18. I was a host on a show called The Big Breakfast. And I think, like you say, a lot of performers get into the industry to be popular, to be liked. And I absolutely loved what I was doing. And when I got that job, it was like all my dreams came true. It was like the biggest breakfast show in the UK. I got to interview like the most incredible people. And all of a sudden, overnight, it just changed, and the media just had it in for me that I was not going to be working in this industry.
I can't believe you were only 18, because I remember
I was 18, and it was such a fast-paced show. And I remember, like, you know, we didn't have auto cue, and we just had, like, runners kind of writing down what was happening next. And the producer said to me, is there anything we can do to, like, help you, because this is your first TV job? And I said, just keep the scripts really minimal so that when we go to, like, you know, when it's kind of really fast and we're running out of time, I can just glance over and I can see clearly what's coming up next.
Which is the right way to do it.
Which that note then got leaked to a big newspaper, and the whole narrative of my career just changed from being, God, this is like, you know, the new kind of like face of breakfast television to this girl is stupid. And it didn't help the fact that I'd been like a kind of glamour model before. So having a picture of me in a bikini on the cover of a paper with a scathing headline just sold so many newspapers. And I remember sitting in makeup, and I remember it so clearly. I was 18, and I could hear people on the radio just speaking so, like, it was just scathing what they were saying about me. And I had to go on and do a live show. And I just thought...
before you were going on?
Right before I was about to go on. And I thought, right, I can either crumble in this moment, knowing that the whole country hates me and everyone thinks I'm useless and I'm not worthy of this job, or I just put my best face on and I just compartmentalised that and just kind of keep going. And that stayed with me throughout my whole career. So that whole notion of being liked, I never had it because I was never liked anyway. I just thought, well, I can't be doing this for the approval of people liking me, because I can't guarantee that's ever
But does that go into your personal life, or were you able to separate, you know, well, that's just work, that is this silly old world?
That's really interesting, because I also think family can kind of ground you in a way that maybe is quite controlling as well. So I think you have to be careful listening to family members, because I think sometimes that can be even more toxic. So I'm very mindful of that as well. If someone says something to me, I think you've got to really kind of have the confidence to know yourself. And
can I just say, though, that, I mean, you've told that story very quickly, but I'm actually rageful, aren't you, Kay? That is the purest form of misogyny. Beautiful young girl. And let me say to you, actually, if you say to, in a studio, oh, can you just give me cards with just the line? What you're actually saying is, and then I'll be thinking of it off the top of my head.
It's hard.
It's actually cleverer than just standing there and reading it all. And for them to use it in a cynical way like that, because God forbid you can look gorgeous in a bikini and be smart. And I really, I've got like goosebumps of anger for you.
Well, hopefully we've come a long way since then.
To be able to pull yourself up and go out anyway. I think I would have been in bits.
Well, it's survival, isn't it? It's like, well, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I want to do. And I just didn't want anyone to take it away from me. But I get with Victoria. I mean, you know, I really admire Victoria.
But was 10-year-old Kelly like that?
I can't remember that far back. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, everyone as kids are bullied at some point, or people say things, and you know, you grow up a bit awkward. Either you've got acne, or I had braces and I, you know, I had boobs before anyone else, and all that stuff just makes you so self-conscious. I remember in ballet class, we went to a stage school, and the boys looking through the window because I was the only one with boobs, and I was doing jetés, and they couldn't wait to see my boobs bump up and down.
Yeah.
It's humiliating. I know, like, now, I'd love boys to look at me like that, but back then, it's humiliating.
Go on, get up there, jump up and down.
But it's, like, you just want to, like, blend in. Like, you don't want to be, like, the centre of attention. You just want to blend in and be like everyone else, so...
It is hard to pinpoint the knocks that knocked us into shape,
yeah.
isn't it?
The ones that toughen you up and the ones that make you crumble. I don't know, well, that depends on your personality, I suppose.
And
What about you? I mean, you lived in that sort of very high pressure.
I think it's, for me, I mean, I would be honest, I still struggle with that because I feel like in our job, in our lifestyle, being liked right now, it's a currency, right? Whether you have an audience, social media, and engage in social media, it determines whether you get that show, that game show. It determines whether you're in a primetime slot, and that pays for your bills, which means you pay for your family, which also makes you happy. So it's something that even now, trying out for jobs where they say, just be yourself, and you are being yourself, and you don't get the job, and it makes you think, gosh, am I not good enough? Am I not likable? So I still very much try and say, oh, I don't care. I couldn't care less. But I essentially do. And I can't wait to the day where I can get to a point where someone says to me something negative and I don't care. But I do. And like you say, I think in performers like myself, it manifests itself differently. When I was on Strictly, my need for being liked, I think I manifested it into ambition. Where it's like, I'm the first black person there. I remember some of the press of me coming on was, oh, she's a token black girl. She's the only black girl on the television, the only black person that you see. And so it manifested itself in me in being overly ambitious, overachieving. I won Strictly twice. That was me going, I'm not just here to carry like this responsibility of all my black sisters with me, but I'm actually good enough. But that came down to me struggling with trying to be liked. So I'm not there. I pray for one day to be there, but I definitely still feel like the 10-year-old OT definitely sometimes pops up.
Would you do, because you've got a young...
to think that everyone's going to like you. Though.
Yeah, I know. I'm not money. Do you know what I mean? That's what my dad says. My dad is like, you're not money. Not everybody's going to like you. You're not money. But also, I don't also like everyone. But it is that thing where I want to say I don't care, but I definitely do, and I'm just being honest.
I'm going to just have to steal that from your dad. I love that.
It's a thing.
If every single person likes you, then you've had to totally bland yourself out.
Exactly.
So there are no ripples.
And then that's when the up and down goes, where if everybody liked you, you'd get everything that you wanted. So when I don't get what I want, I'm like, oh my God, I'm a horrible
Do you think that's though in this kind of business? I mean, generally for people who are just going about their lives and not in the entertainment business, I don't think likability is currency there, or is it?
I mean,
if you
think about it with children, you don't want to get bullied. You want to be the popular one. When you're at work, you do want that promotion. You do want your boss to say, look, you are warm. You're the one. You'll be the face of the company.
You want to be invited to the pub. You want to know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
you're good. You speak your truth all the time, regardless of being liked or not.
But I've got to that. Because I do. Jim McKay knows my saying: "Those that mind don't matter. Those that matter don't mind." And I have said this so many times. For years, I thought it was Gandhi, but it was actually Dr. Seuss in the cartoon. But Gandhi. It's actually one day I read that, thinking it was Gandhi, and that really drove me in a different way. The people that I really care about.
Yes.
They will matter to me, and those that don't, I'm quite confused now. Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I actually worked on that, and I don't read comments that are I wouldn't do this show and then go on Twitter or Facebook and look what people
don't
say.
do that.
and I advise all loose women not to do that because what will happen is you will start to bland yourself out. You cannot. This show shows us more than anything else. You cannot and don't want to be liked by everybody.
Yeah.
No, that's it. And I think it's important to speak your truth and be authentically you without doing it, not because you want to be liked. You just got to do it, even if it's going to turn people off. Yeah, because it's the best way to live.
Well, I agree with all of you, and I think you're all marvellous.
And she loves each and every one of you too.
And all of you.